On Rod Laver Arena, please welcome number 3 seed from Spain, Carlos Alcaraz.
He really wants this one as well, doesn't he? This is the only one still missing.
And their opponent, 10-time Australian Open champion, Novak Djokovic.
Just have to love the reactions. I think Carlos came out really pumped up and firing, it seemed, for that one. Laura, is this really now a psychological battle between the two players? And I say that as well in terms of the last time they met was so intense at those Olympic Games.
Even that Walk of Champions was making me nervous. You know, usually there's such a front runner that the highest seed or the previous champion walks first, but it seems like they've done a swap here where Carlos walked first down the tunnel and then Novak came second onto the court. But yeah, I actually saw Andy up at the player restaurant, and it was early break in the second set for Pavlyuchenkova, and he was like, oh, I need to go downstairs already, I need to get to the gym, and he was already so nervous. So just the fact that he knows how big this is, you know, obviously he's a huge fan of Carlos as well. I'm sure he's been dissecting every inch of both of these guys' games over the last 48 hours. But yeah, everyone's excited, and maybe more so than anyone is Andy Murray.
Will they be thinking about the last battle at the Olympics? Because it was emotional for both of them. For Djokovic winning, and then for Carlos, he said, didn't he, afterwards, I've let a nation down, which obviously was not true in the slightest.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they'd be thinking about that. But to me, the most interesting part about this match now becomes the weather, the wind. Who's that going to favour? Because obviously Djokovic has so much experience playing on the Rod Laver Arena with the wind, and somehow, I mean, I'm sitting on the fence for this one for sure, for change, but I think the wind might favour Djokovic a little bit, because he hits the ball a little flatter, and I don't think it matters to him if he plays with the wind and against the wind, and he's more experienced.
So it looks like from the previous match, the wind is coming from the umpire's left. It's going, straight down the court. Yep. Explain how the players, deal with that, how you've got to play differently from one end to the other end.
Well, I would have thought that when you play into the wind, you want to try and stay a little closer to the baseline and hit the ball a little bit harder. And try to make it bounce a little bit lower, so that the other player is going to have to pick it up and spin it a little bit more, and then there's a good chance that it flies. But at the same time, when you're playing with the wind, if you can play with a little bit of height, obviously you can push your opponent further back. So it's going to be very interesting tactically.
I don't really want to ask anyone to predict this, but you know who I did ask? I asked AI, and they said, I can't predict the outcome of specific sports events. It goes on to say, Djokovic has a wealth of experience, while Alcaraz is an emerging star with great potential. It will likely be a thrilling match. I think I can agree with the last part of that.
AI's been listening to Mats, just sitting on the fence, sitting on the fence.
So I'm not going to put any of you under pressure here, but I'm going to go to this matchup of all matchups. It's only a quarter-final. It's Novak Djokovic taking on Carlos Alcaraz.
The battle of the generations. What a match this could be, the anticipation inside the Rod Laver Arena. It is already electric, and they haven't hit a ball. Well, only a few in the warm-up, but everybody incredibly excited for this one. Carlos Alcaraz up against Novak Djokovic again in a Grand Slam. 2 minutes. And who will the crowd be backing? Will that be the edge? Will that be the difference? Will it be their 10-time champion Novak Djokovic? Will it be the 4-time Grand Slam champion in Carlos Alcaraz? It promises so much. Of course, all eyes on Andy Murray in the box as well. Surely this is one of the reasons that Djokovic got Murray on board. Will that be the decisive factor?